Good morning. The High Court yesterday imprisoned two Spanish women who were repatriated earlier this week from detention camps in Syria, whilst prosecutors investigate whether they are part of the Islamic State group. The government has committed to repatriating several Spanish women and children who are among thousands of foreigners that have been living in overcrowded detention camps run by Kurdish authorities and international charities after Islamic State's so-called caliphate ended in 2019. Judge Santiago Pedraza ordered that Yolanda Martinez and Luna Fernandez should be jailed pending further investigations after considering there was a flight risk as well as an evident risk of reoffending. Both women allegedly participated in activities in favour of Islamic State before and after moving to the area of Syria and Iraq with their husbands in 2014. The judge ruled that the women could maintain custody of their 13 children, arguing that they could not be indoctrinated from prison. National police officers arrested a second person yesterday in connection with the disappearance of a 46-year-old woman of Colombian nationality in Marbella. The second detainee is a friend of the missing woman's ex-partner, who remains in police custody after he was arrested on Monday. The investigation began last Sunday after a report was lodged about the disappearance of a woman, the victim of gender violence, by her relatives. Separately, Guardia Civil officers are investigating the circumstances of the death of a woman whose body was found on a beach in Marbella without her head or hands and with a wide cut in her abdomen. The discovery was made at around 5 p.m. on Sunday when the body was seen floating in the sea. DNA tests, which are still pending, will determine whether the two cases are related. Hundreds of farmers and politicians protested in front of the Environment Ministry building yesterday, calling for the government to backtrack on its plans to conserve water in the Tagus River. The Tagus is the longest river in the Iberian Peninsula and the only Spanish river without minimum flow thresholds to ensure it doesn't dry up. The government has recently decided to establish those minimum water levels, which will gradually increase until 2027. Currently, a significant amount of the river's water is diverted southwards to the Segura River, which provides water to Alicante, Murcia and Almeria. In the case of low water levels, Madrid's plan could dramatically affect those areas. To further complicate matters, those areas make up what is dubbed as Europe's garden. They use that water to produce most of Spain's fruit and vegetable exports. Without the water from the Tagus, agricultural unions estimate the crops could be reduced by as much as 50% and some 15,000 jobs would be destroyed. Teresa Ribera, the minister in charge of the plan, said the government is complying with Supreme Court rulings which force the government to establish ecological protection. The government's plan suggests that more expensive desalination plants could be used to substitute the river's water. And shooting world champion Jorge Ballesteros was pronounced dead on Tuesday after being taken to hospital with a gunshot injury. The Spanish shooting icon was found in his car on Monday with a gunshot wound to his head. The 39-year-old was considered Spain's greatest ever shooter, although he was never able to compete in the Olympic Games, with his discipline not becoming an Olympic event during his career. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.